This is, if you haven't seen this, this is two bears. I think we did commentary on this during Ice House Chronicles because I was talking about his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, he's got very good jiu-jitsu. Like the way the big bear on top is passing. The guy on the bottom is trying to work the guard. He's putting feet on the hips. But the big bear is using pressure. He's like old school, like Salo Hibero, like fucking rock solid jiu-jitsu. Like this is what I'm looking at here.
And pooping.
Oh yeah, they shit. They shit while they're going to war. But this is very much like jiu-jitsu in a lot of ways, man. When I'm watching this is like Rafael Lovato. This is like that kind of jiu-jitsu, like super strong, real technical, pressure, power. They get on top of you and they put the fucking clamp down on you and you're dead. Like this bear is kind of doing that, but the bottom bear got up. Look at this. He's game. He's not as big, but he's game. They go to war. The guy on the left is considerably smaller. If you see it, you see how much smaller he is? Like the one on the right is like literally like 25% larger. But the guy on the bottom is not giving up. It's like Marcelo Garcia, Rico Rodriguez. You motherfuckers don't even know.
Did you see that training? You see that video of a wrestler versus a bodybuilder, and like it's the same kind of thing where the bodybuilder is like super huge, and you're like
wrestler versus a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
there's a jiu-jitsu one. There's Pedro Sauer versus a bodybuilder.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Pedro Sauer, I think. So look up this. Pedro Sauer, Sauer versus bodybuilder, and I think the dude was like, I want to say he was like 240 pounds, and Pedro Sauer was like 150.
Yeah.
And he got in this like street fight with this guy in a gym, and this is back in the day when like the Gracie challenges were going on and shit like that. This is the guy. He's fucking jacked. And Pedro Sauer, I believe, is Hicks and Gracie lineage. I apologize if I'm wrong. But either way, he's a super respected, I know he's Gracie, he's got a Gracie gi on, super respected jiu-jitsu instructor and competitor. So he's got this giant bodybuilder in front of him, and he's front leg side kicking him in the thigh. This is so old school. I wish I knew what year this was. But he keeps hitting him with this front leg side kick in the thigh. He's way smaller than this guy. And the bodybuilder is yet to move. Now he tries to make his move, and he throws a punch. But it ain't working. And Pedro Sauer starts jacking him with punches, and so the guy takes him down. So now when the guy takes him down, Pedro Sauer immediately sweeps him, mounts on him, and the dude rolled him over at least one time, but Pedro didn't really take any damage. You see how good like a real legit Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner is at protecting himself, and then especially the fact that he's wearing a gi, which is even better, because he can really, even though the other guy is... he's bare-chested. If Pedro's wearing a gi, he can control the guy because it's grippy. You know, the gi allows you to hold on to a big fucking sweaty gorilla like this guy. So he eventually catches homeboy in an arm bar.
This is not the same video I saw, but it's the same pretty much idea. Yeah.
I want to say this is like 95 or something like that. So he's holding on to the dude. What does it say? What does it say?
That guy was 92, Mr. Utah. So I thought for a second I thought it was a 92.
Well, Pedro Sauer, I think he's in Utah. I think he's a Salt Lake City guy. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. But either way, Pedro Sauer is super respected. Very, very high-level jiu-jitsu instructor. A lot of blood here, man. Who's got the blood? Look at that. Oh, shit. Armbar, son. Ugh. I think he made that dude's fucking nose explode before he armbarred him. Is that guy's face a bloody mess? Yeah, there it is. Like that's the blood. Yeah, he punched him in the nose and choked the shit out of him, and then took his arm. Old school, son. But the difference in strength there and size is pretty substantial. What did you see?
Mine was, it was one of those Facebook videos like, guess who wins when you do a pro wrestler versus a bodybuilder? And the bodybuilder was just this huge monster bodybuilder, and the wrestler just had no problem just throwing him on the ground constantly. It was just wrestling. It wasn't MMA, but
was it a pro wrestler? You said pro wrestler, or was it just like a guy?
Just like no, like not a pro wrestler, like a professional wrestler, like
like someone who's an expert.
Expert, yeah.
Expert, yeah. Pro wrestlers used to be real wrestlers. Like, not that they're not now. Now they're more real entertainers, but they can wrestle. Obviously, Brock Lesnar can wrestle. But the original days of pro wrestling, it wasn't fake. It is the weirdest thing. That is the only sport that's a sport in the fucking Olympics. But in the professional world, it's fake. And when I say fake, I don't mean it disrespectfully. I know I joked around about pro wrestling, and a lot of pro wrestling fans got super butthurt. Listen, I absolutely respect the athletes and their abilities and what they're doing. I like to fuck with Tony Hinchcliffe, folks. Okay? It's fun. He loves wrestling a little too much. Yeah. And if you got burned along with that, I'm so sorry. But my honest feelings about pro wrestling is it disturbs me that guys who are so good and women who are so good at wrestling don't have a professional venue for it where wrestling is so exciting on an amateur level, whereas like tennis players have massive opportunities. Everybody else has massive opportunities. I mean, I guess swimming doesn't. But a lot of like big time sports have these huge opportunities. But what swimming doesn't have is amateur swimming and then fake swimming, where they're like rolling out, like, he's got Jello. He got the Jello, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Phelps is doing the world record in Jello.
I like this.
Mauro Ranello, and you would have Elton John sunglasses on and a fucking Chuck Liddell mohawk, and he'd be doing the pro wrestling version of swimming. We're going pro swimming. Yeah, Nick fucking, what's his name? The guy who runs pro wrestling? Vince McMahon. Yeah. Vince McMahon, he puts a fucking bandana on his neck, and he has one of those Mark Spitz mustaches. This is his new look. And he just talks about pro swimming. We're taking pro swimming the same place we took pro wrestling.
Alex Jones.
Michael Phelps is like, fuck, man. You know, I love Wheaties as much as the next guy, but I'm tired. I'm tired of just living off sponsors. I got to watch what I do. I can't smoke weed. This is bullshit. Why don't I have a professional venue? Hey, man, if fucking golf is in the Olympics and golfers make millions of dollars, everybody goddamn swims. You all know how to swim. Didn't you race your cousin when you were a kid? We all know how to swim, right? Okay, let's make pro swimming. Let's do this. He gets together.